I think that's horrific.
That's UK.
I think that's horrific.
But this.
I don't know the details, but obviously the police got it wrong.
This is the part that kind of. So you represented the media on the left, okay? So Rob, can you go back to that story that New York Times? If you search the two different words of George Floyd versus what happened with Novak, you just had it up right now a minute ago.
Come on, you're gonna do this?
No,
the media is.
But wait a minute. This is New York Times. Go to the first one.
I'm not a fan of the news.
You type in Henry Nowak. How many names? Results 19. Go to the next one, Rob. George Floyd, 63-97. There is no incentive to tell the story because it doesn't go with the narrative.
So I disagree with you. I grew up in the UK. Right-wing media has been telling these stories all my life. All I've seen is black people and Muslim people on the front pages. Have you looked at the front page of the Daily Mail, the Daily Express? What do you mean the UK is being destroyed?
You think UK is doing good?
Yeah, I mean, no, but not for the reasons you think.
Why do you think UK is not doing good?
I think economically it's doing very badly. It had very bad leadership for the last 15 years. I was there. The Conservative government that came in 2010 did an austerity program after the financial crisis.
You put it on Cameron. Cameron is
David Cameron and George Osborne did an austerity program that basically gutted the British state, gutted our competitiveness, didn't cut the deficits, actually ruined our fiscal credibility, downgraded our credit rating, destroyed our growth over the course of a decade, undermined our health service.
Do you put anything tied to immigration to that?
No.
None.
Immigration's been a boost for the British economy. In fact, cutting immigration's bad. Look at Brexit. Brexit's been a disaster for the British economy. Do you know how many people in Britain want to rejoin the EU? A majority. Pull that up. The majority of Britons want to go back into the EU. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, Patrick? Why do you think Britons want to go back into the EU? You just said Britain's being destroyed.
No, but have you looked at the crime numbers? What's going on in UK?
Crime is very low.
Have you looked at
crime is very low, Patrick?
So let me ask you.
Do you know what the crime rate in London is?
So did you see the tweet that came out?
I know you're not a fan of Sadiq Khan. You're not a fan of my good friend Sadiq Khan, are you?
What EU did? You saw the tweet that came out. What EU was saying they're doing, that they want to find a way to get rid of illegal immigrants.
Okay, you're jumping around, Patrick. Britain is not in the EU. We're talking about Britain. You just said Britain's being destroyed, which is nonsense, and then you said crime rate. Have you looked at the London crime rates? Last year, London had its lowest per capita murder rate since records began, had the lowest volume of homicides for 30 years under Sadiq Khan, third-term mayor, who people in America, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, get very worked up about. I don't know if you guys get worked up about him. Been a very successful mayor, and crime has come down by record numbers. Violent crime and murder.
When you're looking at EU, do you know which country in EU has the lowest rape rate?
Talk about the UK, Patrick.
Stay with UK. Stay with UK.
The UK's not in the EU anymore, sadly.
EU to me, I'll put them somewhat together in the same area.
They left 10 years ago.
By the way, so you're saying immigration coming from all these countries has been a successful project for the EU?
What's your definition of success?
Many different ways.
Economically, the EU desperately needs migrants. Have you seen the age rate? Pull up the demographic.
Okay, so it's
a dying continent with a very low birth rate, as Elon Musk likes to point out.
So when you think
they got no one there to work, to pay taxes, to look after the elderly, to run their health services, etc.
Maybe the one argument I'll go to see what you'll say about this. Do you think the West, when it comes down to West, Muslims can coexist with the West?
Took a handbrake.
I'm curious.
We went from Britain's being destroyed to London crime to EU to Muslims.
I'm curious.
Okay, we got to Muslims.
Tell me where you are with this. Do you think they can
Muslims.
coexist?
What do you think?
Do you think they can coexist?
Do you think I can coexist with them?
I think you can coexist.
Why me?
Educated. You're a worker. You're now a capitalist. You're contributing. You're creating jobs. I would say you're net positive.
Do you not think most Muslims do that?
I don't think depending on where they're coming from, they don't. Because if their countries did a good job, why would they leave it?
War that we caused?
War that who caused?
That we caused.
So they're leaving because of us.
Well, you know the big controversy in the UK over the boats, the small boats coming across the channel. Do you know what the top 3 nationalities are in those boats?
Tell me.
Iran number 1.
Okay.
Afghanistan number 2. Iraq number 3. Now, Iran is a current war. Let's park Iran. But are you telling me we're not responsible for the mess in Afghanistan and Iraq? Come on.
When you look at this, let me show you this. Rob, can you pull this up? When it comes down to, let me see which one I got here.
I love Rob bringing up these.
No,
I love he brings this up.
I know you like numbers.
No, I love it. I love being proved right as well. It's
per capita.
Good for my ego.
No. Per capita. Per capita. When you look at the countries, Rob, I think you got it. Gulf states, how they perform per capita versus some of the other Muslim nations. Okay. Look at this one here.
Because they got oil and gas.
You think it's only oil and gas that's causing them?
Did you know what these countries were like in the 60s and 70s?
Iran has plenty of oil. How come they're not in here?
Maybe
Iraq has got oil.
Can I answer your question?
But this has been going on for a minute. This is not a one-year thing.
Can I answer your question?
Sure.
Why do you think Iran's not doing well economically? Should I go through the list?
You're going to say it's sanctions. You're going to say it's America.
Sanctions.
You're going to say it's America's fault.
Not just America's fault.
So how come
but partly. Hold on. How much? Okay, you left Iran during the Iran-Iraq war, right? Is that
I left Iran after Khomeini died, 6 weeks after Khomeini died.
Okay, so Iran-Iraq was done by then. So
July
Iran-Iraq
1589.
So Iran-Iraq was done. Iran-Iraq was 1980 to 1988.
Yes.
$600 billion of damage done to Iranian infrastructure, the economy, the cost of that war.
But
that was a
whose
war that
fault is that?
Saddam
Whose fault
Hussein.
is that? Oh, you put it on Saddam.
Whose fault do you think it is? Who invaded who?
So, by the way,
hold on, Patrick. Come on.
You don't at all put that on IRGC?
No, I put it on the
You don't put it on Islamic Revolutionary
I put
Guard?
it on the country that invades the other country. That's how the world works. I blame Russia for the Ukraine war.
Why
they
do they
invaded
have a hard
Ukraine.
time getting along with other people?
Why did Saddam Hussein? Are you pro-Saddam?
No. Why does Iran have a hard time getting along with other
That was
people?
when I said. I said there was an Iran-Iraq war. You said, is America to blame? I said, yes, we backed Saddam Hussein. Did we not back Saddam Hussein? Did Donald Rumsfeld not fly and hug? You can pick up Rob can bring up a video of Donald Rumsfeld hugging Saddam Hussein in 1983 in Baghdad. Were we not supporting the Iraqi invasion of Iran that cost Iran 1 million lives? $600 billion of infrastructure damage. You're saying that didn't play any role in Iran's economic future.
Why don't they?
You're not answering my question.
No, but you don't understand what I'm saying.
No,
But Mehdi, let me ask you.
You want me to acknowledge that?
No, but look, let's give credit to, for instance, when Mamdani goes to the White House, you and I both gave credit to both of them for being diplomatic.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think Iranian leadership with the IRGC is diplomatic?
No. They've been horrific in their leadership. I think they've given their opponents a stick with which to beat them. I was a big critic of Ahmadinejad back in the day. He said dumb things.
So do you think Khomeini was good for Iran?
Do I think Khomeini was good?
Do you think Khomeini was good for Iran?
No, in hindsight, of course not. If you look at the record
So
today,
then we're on the same page. What I'm trying to do is
I've said this before. I went on Piers Morgan's show. Just to be clear, for people who don't know, I'm Shia. Right? I'm a Shia Muslim.
I know you're Shia.
Which is the majority religion in Iran.
Sure.
Right? So I do, but there are two types of Shias. This is very crude. I'm trying to explain to your audience. Religiously, theologically, politically, there's two types of Shias. There are those who believe in what's called Vilayat-e-Faqih, WF. They believe that Khomeini, this was a political theory, some say a religious theory, pushed by Ayatollah Khomeini, that said that the clerics, the Ayatollahs, the mullahs, whatever you want to call them, they should rule. Power should be with them. That is the model that Iran has followed. There is another school of thought that comes out of Iraq, mainly out of a city called Najaf, and Ayatollah called Sistani, who is the leading Shia Ayatollah in Iraq today. And they say, no, we are all for religion. We're all, we want everyone to practice Islam, Shia Islam, but we're not going to rule. After the American toppled Saddam, Ayatollah Sistani did not do a Khomeini. He did not say, I'm going to become supreme leader of Iraq. He said, have elections, democracy, vote. I'm going to stay in my house and I'm going to give you advice, religious advice when you need it. I follow the Ayatollah Sistani view of the world, crudely put. Sure. I don't follow the Ayatollah Khomeini view of the world. So when you say to me, was he good for Iran? As a governmental system, no, I don't support the governing system of Iran the way it is. But you're changing the subject. You're avoiding you are.
I'm not.
There was an 8-year war. We were talking about Iran's economy.
I lived there. Trust me, I lived there. I witnessed it.
I understand.
You should entertain the idea of living in a Muslim majority country, see what it's like.
I understand.
I lived there.
You're jumping around.
I'm not.
You were talking about the economy.
Iraq, Iran. I'll let you finish your thought, and then I'll go back to my question that I had.
So
go ahead, finish your thought.
Finish my thought. Well, it doesn't. It's a thought that requires a response from you, which is if there's an 8-year war that Iraq started and we supported, that cost $600 billion to Iran, that took out 1 million members of their population, and then was followed by crazy sanctions. Are you telling me then that it's fair to compare that economy with Abu Dhabi? Are you seriously telling me that's a fair comparison?
Can you go back to that chart again, Rob, for me? So you just defended Iraq, right? That we backed up Iraq.
Yes.
That went against Iran.
Yeah.
How come they're not on the top GDP per capita on this list?
Do you know what happened to Iraq after the Iran-Iraq war?
So now you have another reason. It's America's fault again.
I mean, do you study history, Patrick? Do you know what happened in 1991? We did a Gulf. Saddam idiotically invaded Kuwait.
Victimhood language for you to say. So on one end, on one end you're saying this. On the other end, you're saying no. It's because
you're
of this.
comparing countries. You're showing me a graph comparing countries that have never been bombed, invaded, and occupied with countries that have been bombed, invaded, occupied, and then you say, why is the GDP per capita higher in one, not the other? That's an insane comparison.
Why have they made so much progress? Why? They're Muslim majority.
Yeah.
Okay, why have they made so much progress?
I mean,
and by the way, at this point, just so you know, the argument is now not about Muslim.
I know it's not.
I know, but the argument is why are some winning, some are not?
And I explained war plays a big role in that.
Well, maybe a part of it makes sense.
I just pointed out to you the 3 biggest refugee groups on the boats going into England are Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. Sure. Yeah. Coincidence? No, those are war-torn countries.
I'm not disputing that. What I'm trying to tell you is even with that, if you sit here and say every single time everything is America's fault, what responsibility do they take? Do they take any responsibility that they're not making the right decision for other people?
Just to be clear, people can rewind. I know Rob does screenshots, but people watching on YouTube can rewind. Never did I say it's all America's fault. I've never said that. Have you read? You said you've read my stuff. You've seen my stuff.
I've seen your stuff.
I'm very critical of Muslim majority countries. I am very critical of the Iranian government. I'm very critical of the Saudi government. I'm very critical of the Emirati government.
What do you think they can do?
I do a show for Al Jazeera, and I grilled the Qatari foreign minister on that show about the lack of democracy.
Dude, I've seen your stuff.
I'm critical of Arab governments, Muslim government, Pakistan.
Do you think the Middle East is a safer place with IRGC in charge of running America or somebody like a Pezeshkian? More the moderates.
Of course, I'm more of a moderate. I would like to see. And again, who undermined the moderates in Iran? Sorry. It's going to be the answer
I
you don't
agree.
like.
Oh,
The United States of America.
No, I disagree.
The United States of America.
No, I disagree. I don't think that's the case.
Who
Israel.
Oh, well.
No, I don't put
Our
it on-
proxy then.
No, but listen to you were not expecting my answer.
No, but I don't accept this fake split between U.S. and Israel.
But this is not it. But let me tell you what's going. I do, because what I see going on right now is I see Israel. In a way, I actually like what's taking place. Let me explain to you why I like what's taking place. A part of what's going on right now is the world is able to see Bibi's motive versus Trump's motive. Like, you remember that one time when the Trump and Bibi are on stage speaking, and he's saying, yeah, we're thinking about taking over Gaza, and we're going to build a hotel here. And then you see Bibi goes like, wait, what? You never told me that. He kind of got, I don't know if you remember that session or not.
Okay. West Bank equivalent.
So a part of it for me, I like that this is happening because I prefer this to be in the public's eye. I prefer for Trump to show, hey, listen, if I want to go become a prime minister of Israel, I would do it. You're there just because of me. I like him saying that publicly.
All right.
I like that is taking place. But to me, who wants IRGC to be gone?
So a couple of things. On the Trump point, I agree. It's better these things happen in public, and there is a weird upside to Trump having such a big mouth and saying crazy shit all the time. There is a pro to that. I get that. But let's not forget, Patrick, you saw the New York Times big piece where we discovered from Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Swan that Benjamin Netanyahu went to the Situation Room and made the case to Trump with Mossad joining via Zoom or wherever it was, and he persuaded Trump that this will be a walk in the park, cake-walk, all of that shit. That happened in private.
What's your percentage that happened?
That happened in private.
What's your percentage
high percentage.
Give me a number, 80%?
80%.
I'm 50-50 that happened.
Okay. You think Trump did it on his own without Netanyahu?
No. I said I'm 50-50, meaning I believe there's a 50% chance because...
But you don't deny that behind the scenes, the Israelis are putting pressure on the U.S.
Of course I know.
Okay. So then to come back to your broader
I don't
point,
think he's Bush. I don't think he's Obama. I don't think he's Biden. I don't think he's those guys.
In many ways, he's worse.
No. I don't think
he doesn't have any independent views.
The one thing I know with you, Mehdi, is the fact that no matter what he does, he's not going to get victory from you. We have to put those two.
Again, you can go back on YouTube, rewind an hour. I said if he restrains Netanyahu in Gaza and Lebanon.
You said if.
He won't. I know he won't.
No, I understand. But have you ever given him any credit for anything he's done? When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless.
In the first term, I wrote a piece for The Intercept. I got a lot of shit for it because I said credit where credit's due. He's going to withdraw from Afghanistan. Remember, he laid out that timeline that Biden then got attacked for following. It was a Trump timeline.
Pull out of Afghanistan. He did it. Biden, the way
Trump
he did
would have done it better. Come on. It was always going to be a disaster. No matter how you pull out of Afghanistan.
There was many military personnel said there was better ways to leave.
No, I don't agree on that. But
many military.
Can I come back to your wider point?
Tell me.
Oh my God, he's showing me. I need to take a shower now. Bravo, Donald Trump is the headline. Rob's too fast. All right, so let me come back to the wider point. Forget Trump.
I always knew. I introduced him properly at the beginning. Big MAGA supporter.
That's 2020. 6 years ago. We all grow, evolve, learn from our mistakes. So the broader point about America and Israel, Iran, to go back to your IRGC point, forget Trump for a moment. Let's just take U.S. foreign policy as a whole. Mm-hmm. When you say it's Israel, I don't accept that. I think this new thing on the right where you say, Tucker Carlson, Joe Kent, all this line, which is like, America's good, it's bad Israel, making good America. I'm not saying you did, but I'm saying others, it's becoming a very consensus view, which is America's really good, and then evil Israel comes along and make good America do bad things.
No.
We need to take agency and responsibility. We are the superpower. And when Israel's murdering Iranian nuclear scientists or murdering Iranian diplomats who might do a deal with them, we have to take ownership for that. They don't do that without an American green light. They didn't kill Khamenei without an American green light. They don't do shit without an American green light. So I don't buy this idea that Israel is some rogue force. Going back to the Barack Ravid point about there's all these splits between the president and the prime minister. 9 times out of 10, America and Israel are on the same page. 1 time out of 10, they're on a different page.
Yeah, so
we had moderate presidents in Iran. They got screwed over. Khatami, Rouhani. They got screwed over by Western governments that wouldn't do a nuclear deal.
Israel went out and killed the 50 guys. We could have worked together, whatever. And Trump kept saying, everybody we're negotiating with, they're killing them. Who's they? Who's he saying
and
they?
You think Israel can do that if Trump wanted them to stop? Come on.
No. What I'm saying to you is Israel, when they get their intel and they want to take somebody out, you remember the pagers. They got very good intel. They don't have a problem going and doing what they're doing. I understand Israel's motive.
So do I.
I understand Israel's motive.
But I'm saying they get a green light from the U.S.
I don't think as much under him as others. I do think they're an ally for the Middle East. And I'm not, like, you're a business guy now. You're a capitalist. So one of the things you'll experience, because you're a capitalist. There's nothing wrong. You should be proud of it. You should be. Look at the smile on your face. You're making more money than ever before. Your
it's a good line.
Life
It's a
is
good line. It's a good line.
Are you making more money or less money right now?
I'm making more money.
That's good. There's nothing wrong. We should be proud of it.
Did I say that? That's not my definition
But
of
here's where I'm
capitalism.
going with this. In the last couple of years since you've been private, how many opportunities have you had to do deals with people?
Many.
Many. When you're on the call, do you know their motives?
No.
Their motives are typically beneficial to who?
Themselves.
Themselves. Is that something that you and I would be surprised with? No. Why are you here today? Why do I have you on today? It's going to be a good show for us. Why are you on here today? You don't live down the street. You came. There's a motive.
Yes.
Both of us have a motive, so both of us are winning from this exchange that we have. Okay.
Understood.
In that sense, the way they negotiate, then it goes to who's the better negotiator. Then it goes to who gave up more. Then it goes to all the other stuff that you got to go through, and you got to make adjustments.
Well, Trump is a horrible negotiator, and as Benjamin Netanyahu said, these are Benjamin Netanyahu's words. For 40 years, I've dreamt of attacking Iran. He's the only president who would listen to me. Those are Netanyahu's words. I'm
For 40
paraphrasing.
years, Trump
Every
said
president said no.
in 1987 he would go and take over Carrick Island. He said that in 85. You make it seem like this guy's not an independent thinker.
Well, he's not independent.
Trump said that in 85.
Hold on. He also said, none of us knew they would hit the Strait of Hormuz. None of us knew they would hit the Gulf countries. You idiot. Everyone knew this.
You can't give him credit that he said this 40 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know how he got that one thing consistent.
Oh,
But what
yeah,
about the
I
actual
don't know how
war?
this one thing he did. I
Okay,
don't know how
come
he.
on.
I don't know how he came
Patrick,
back and
Patrick,
won
you keep asking me to give him credit.
Yeah.
The Iran war, you praised them on day one of the Iran war. Would you accept today it's been an absolute disaster because Donald Trump is not a war leader? He doesn't understand foreign policy. He doesn't understand what. He just said this week, I'm bored. You know what he said this week? I'm bored of all this.
Mehdi.
Like a child.
Mehdi, let me tell you where it is. You know, I have a local doctor I want you to go see. He specializes in TDS. And I think you would work very well with him. Over a 6-month period, he'll be able to get rid of your TDS.
I have a guy who's a psychologist, and he deals with cult members.
Yep.
And I think he'll do well with you guys who can't get out of the Trump cult.
See the
right?
difference?
I asked you, I gave you an opportunity in front of the audience to criticize Trump on Iran. You can't do it.
I will.
It's been a disaster.
Can I tell you?
Please.
The difference between you and I is I will sit there and I'll give credit and I'll criticize.
I'll give him credit. What should I give him credit
I am
for?
more supportive of him than you are.
What should I give him
Because
credit
the longer you're a capitalist, you're gonna want somebody that's pro-capitalism.
The economy is horrific under him.
Because
my business is doing badly because of him.
It's
because of the war. Who started the war? He did.
I take ownership that he started the war.
So when you say give him credit,
Can I
what
finish?
give him
You're
credit
gonna
for?
allow me to finish my thought?
Please.
Did you give him credit with Venezuela?
No, of course not.
So
Illegal action.
that's also no.
He broke international law, American law, the Constitution.
So that's a no for you as well.
He killed a
so
grandmother.
Let me ask you a question.
And he brought this guy into a court case that he might lose.
If they take over Cuba, would that be a victory in your eyes? So give it already criticism up front.
You think I'm supporting? You want me to come here to Florida and support imperialism? You support imperialism.
So
you support just invading other countries.
So you go back.
Patrick.
You go criminal. Well, how the hell do you think America got so big? What do you think they did? It was an expansionist James Polk ideology of let's go out there and buy all these other places.
Was there international law, the UN Charter, the Geneva Conventions at the time?
But you're sitting here complaining about something like this where you're living in a country, it's because of the byproduct of the visionaries previous to us that they made it what it is today. Why do you feel so safe here?
Bizarre argument.
Why do you feel
because
so safe
we
here?
once
Why
got
do you and I
Alaska,
feel
we
so
should
safe
go
here?
conquer Cuba.
No, that's not what I'm telling you.
Sounds like it.
If they're expanding, I don't mind an expansionist president. I don't.
You
mind
like imperialism. How are you different to the IRGC?
I don't mind an expansionist.
How are you different to the IRGC? Everyone says.
Everyone says Islamic Revolutionary Guard. Everything is above. God tells them what to do, and death upon America.
They're accused of being expansionist, of trying to take over the Middle East. That's the big allegation that the Gulf states make against Iran. And yet you're sitting here saying, "But we should take over the Western Hemisphere."
By the way, do you know what I would actually say?
I'm not imperialist.
Let me ask you a question. You got how many subscribers do you have with your channel right now that are paying you?
On Substack?
On Substack.
I'm not going to say that number.
Let's say it's 100,000 people that you got.
It's not, sadly.
Okay, but let's just say you have 50 to 100,000 people. You're doing well. You're making good money.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you taken any viewership from anybody else?
What do you mean?
Are people watching you that used to watch somebody else on YouTube? What an expansionist you are. What a shameful expansionist capitalist.
I've been with you for 1 hour, 20 minutes.
This guy's expanding his YouTube channel, but God forbid anybody else does it.
I've waited an hour, 20 minutes for you to say the dumbest thing with respect, Patrick. That is not an analogy.
Every time you say the dumbest things is when you get cornered. What do you mean you're expanding?
That is the worst analogy.
You're expanding.
Did I go into the New York Times? Hold on. Let's take your analogy. Did I walk into the New York Times and abduct the editor-in-chief of the New York Times, put a bag over his head,
do you have any
and take
employees?
him out in order to undermine the New York Times?
Do you have any employees?
Yes.
How many of them came volunteer? How many of them did you recruit and hire away from another company?
How many of them did I get with a gun and a special forces team? You're making a ridiculous analogy.
Oh, my
you
goodness.
expand as a business. That's the same as illegally occupying other people's land.
What la-la land are you living in? Like, what do you think happened to this world?
World of law.
What do you think happened to this world?
You do realize the problem that the MAGA folks have when they say this is you lose any credibility to criticize anyone else. You can't criticize Iran then. You can't criticize Hamas.
And I don't.
You don't criticize Hamas?
No, I don't criticize. If you're able to expand.
So if Hamas goes into Israel, you're for that?
It's not about if I'm for that or not. If you're able to successfully do it, that's your vision. I know I have to defend against it. What do you think companies do? How do you think companies work? What do you think companies are supposed to do?
I think it's insane that you're comparing business expansion to us going around the world killing people.
Mehdi, why do you think we have military?
To
for what?
defend ourselves.
Against what?
Threats.
Against
but
another
you
want to
be the threat.
I'm not saying that.
You think Cuba's trying to expand right now?
No.
You think Cuba's trying to expand? Where are they expanding to? Miami?
No.
You've been living in Miami too long.
By the way, maybe
I think you've been drinking too much Miami water.
I actually rarely go to Miami. Maybe that's their fault. Maybe that's their fault.
What's their fault?
Maybe their ideology, communism, created a poor country and their people want something better.
But that doesn't give us the right to go and take over the country.
How do you think all this stuff happened in history?
Okay, lots of things happen in history that weren't right.
Yeah, but guess what?
This is 2026.
Dude, you understand you've taken market share from other people. Your viewers were somebody else's viewers that came to you.
So you support.
Kudos to you.
So you want just to be clear, you want some kind of law of the jungle where might is right, power.
What do you think the law is?
You're fine.
What do you think
I
the law is?
I noticed you don't answer any question.
No.
It's a very simple question. Yes or no? Do you support a law of the jungle where might is right?
Do you believe in non-compete?
You can't answer a question with a question. You have to answer the question. Do you support a might is right view where law of the jungle, whoever's powerful gets to do what they want?
I'm trying to find. No. I'll answer it for you. I'm trying to find out what other law of the land you think we live in. Help me understand.
We have domestic law. We have international law. We have criminal law. I don't know where you're living.
What do you use?
You've been in Florida.
Do you use ChatGPT or do you use Claude? Which do you use more?
Probably ChatGPT more.
ChatGPT more than Claude? Okay. Do you know when it first started who had the biggest market share?
ChatGPT.
Who do you think is killing it right now?
Claude.
Claude's picking it up. Why?
Because they invaded another country, kidnapped the president.
Because they produced a better product.
And
this is why.
Did Amade? What's the guy's name? Dario Amade. What's his name? The guy who runs Claude. Did he go into Sam Altman's house in the middle of the night, take Sam Altman and his wife, put bags on their heads, and fly them back to his compound and kill a grandmother in the process?
The only difference is that, but where is
that is the big difference, Patrick. I can't believe you don't see it.
No. I understand what you're saying in the argument of that, but the reality of it is, which is what?
A law of the jungle where the might is right. Do you support a world? Do you like living in a world? Are you pro? Do you support the idea of living in a world where powerful countries should be able to do what they want?
Can I ask you a question? What country?
You keep answering the question with a question.
Why do you live in America? Why do you live in America?
Because I like the law. You know what I like about the US?
It's the most powerful.
No.
Go live in Iran.
No.
Go live in Iraq.
I don't live here because it's the most powerful country.
Why do you live here?
Because many reasons.
Give me.
One is it's a country that's governed by laws, principles, free speech.
Yes.
I love the First Amendment, the Constitution.
Yeah.
I don't favor presidents and people who say we should just break the law because we
I didn't say break the law.
What do you mean? Taking over Cuba is breaking the law. UN Charter. That's the law of the land.
If they come and they try to take over.
Who's coming?
Whoever it is. Trump's already talking about it. Rubio's already talking about it.
The Cubans are not taking over anything.
No, Cubans are not taking over anything.
We are launching a war of aggression, like the Nazis. Nuremberg called it. You know what the Nuremberg Tribunal called a war of aggression?
I'm assuming.
The Supreme International War
Is it fair to say you were against tariffs on day one?
Yes.
I was for tariffs. Guess what Supreme Court ruled?
Against tariffs.
Okay, great. Yeah. Guess what? You just.
Okay.
That's what happened. If they go...
You want to live in a world where Trump says, F the Supreme Court, and that's what J.D. Vance has said on the record.
No, not at all.
J.D. Vance has said this on the record. But you just said you
want
powerful people get to do what they want.
Look, let me tell you.
You said it. Everyone can watch it.
Trump's the president, okay? A few years ago, Biden was the president. In 2028, AOC could be the president. Newsom could be the president. Rubio could be the president. Somebody else could be the president, right? Every time the opposing side is the president, the opposing side thinks it's the end of the world. What ends up happening to America? What ends up happening?
Bad things.
No, not necessarily. Eventually goes back to normalcy. And it's like, I'm going to go there.
I look at the Trump first term and I see 500,000 people killed from COVID because he couldn't handle a pandemic.
But do you know why, though? What protects America the way it does?
I would argue our laws, constitution,
I agree.
principles, history.
I like
Supreme. And you're saying I want to throw it all out to have an imperialist nation.
If a leader comes in that is a visionary leader that wants to expand and grow, and he can do it within his terms, and Supreme Court and law allows it, I don't mind him doing
First of all, the Supreme Court law doesn't allow it. Venezuela was unconstitutional. Congress declares war in this country.
Yeah, then if that's the case, well, we saw that with the 60-day rule with Iran.
He's violated that.
I understand that. And they're working around that right now in different ways.
American law. What about international law? Even if the American Congress votes to attack Cuba, that doesn't make it legal in international law. You can't attack other countries.
Mehdi, let me ask you. If, for instance,
tomorrow you'll say 9/11 was just... Do you support 9/11? Do you support 9/11?
No.
Why? Al-Qaeda could do it. They did it. According to your logic, Al-Qaeda had every right to do it.
No, there's a difference between me supporting it and then them doing it and then me retaliating to you. Like right now, if you and I were sitting...
But you don't think it was illegal?
Do I? Of course it's illegal.
Why? According to you, it doesn't matter.
No, of course it's illegal.
Also, 9/11 is illegal,
No,
but us attacking Cuba is legal.
I didn't tell you. You never heard me say attacking. If they can go and take it over without attacking, and the laws allow it, guess what? I'm for it.
That's a whole different argument.
It's not a whole different...
If the Cuban people vote in a referendum to become the 51st state...
Don't spin right now and make it seem like I want to go kill people and take stuff
You defended Venezuela. We killed people to get him out.
I never said... But by the way...
You said give him credit for Venezuela. You did say that.
You don't think that was a good move?
No.
You don't think that was a good move?
I don't believe you should... I don't support regime change. I don't support assassinating foreign leaders.
What
did George Washington say? Don't go abroad looking for monsters to slay. Or was it Adams? I forget.
Yeah,
founder.
So you don't support what he did.
I do not support the United States government.
I thought that was a massive
foreign
victory,
countries,
especially the way they did it,
and killing foreign leaders. Even if it has a good outcome, I don't support it because I support laws and principles.
Well, I do also support laws and principles. But if you say you support laws and principles, you're trying to tell me Obama followed everything?
No.
You telling me
he violated the law in Libya? I criticized him.
Every one of them.
Because I'm not in a cult, I criticized Obama in 2011 for doing Libya.
You know what's the difference between you and I and them?
I criticize people on all sides. You don't.
Yeah, we do. We do it as well. But you know what's the difference between you and I and them?
Go on.
What's the difference?
You and I and who?
You and I talking, giving our opinions, and Obama and Trump. What's the difference between you and I and them?
We're not politicians.
They made it into the White House.
Okay.
And so they're going to be able to do whatever they're going to do. You and I can talk about it, give our opinions.
We don't have an imperial presidency. We shouldn't have an imperial presidency.
That's why we have the freedom of speech of giving our opinions.
No, we also have a vision of America, which is supposed to be a restrained commander-in-chief. The founders came to... We're celebrating 250 years of American history. They came to this country, from my old country, the UK, to get away from a mad king, not to recreate a mad king.
Okay, so we can get past this. I mean, when maybe the next time we'll do the podcast, we'll do it in Cuba or Venezuela, just for the sake of what we'll enjoy ourselves with. Anyways, let me get to the next story with you. By the way, Mamdani, Spencer Pratt, what commonality do you see between the two of them?
Very little.
Very little?
Very little.
Tell me why.
Because I know this is argument that says all of these candidates who make a lot of noise, do well on social media, are similar. But I think people have underestimated what Mamdani is. Mamdani, yes, is charismatic, had a great social media game. I interviewed his team that made his social videos. Great people, smart people. The video he did where he jumped into the water, freezing cold to show freeze the rents. The video he did for halal.
You're saying Mamdani or
Mamdani. I'm just talking about his campaign was brilliant online. No doubt about it. The halal.
Maybe one of the best.
One of the best. Yeah.
Maybe one of the best.
One of the best.
And the guy that
came out of nowhere, 1%.
Yeah,
Polling
I agree.
1%.
I agree.
But what happened is a lot of Democrats took the wrong lesson from that. They said, this guy is so good on social media. We got to hire the same people who did his social media campaigns. We got to do video. Did you notice after Mamdani won the primary, suddenly you saw all these congressional Democrats primaries walking down the same videos, same cutaways, same. And they think that's how you replicate Mamdani. They misunderstand. Mamdani, yes, the social media game helped him get his message across, helped him get the youth out. But at the core of Mamdani was a very clear message. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compare him to Trump right now.
Be careful.
I'm going to compare him to Trump. Donald Trump, I asked this question to everyone. I can't get fired. So
you're a capitalist, you're free.
I'm free. 2016, I say this to everyone I talk to about politics. I said, tell me, I say this to leftists, I say this to liberals, I say this to Muslims, I say this to non-Muslims. Tell me what Donald Trump's 3 main policies were in 2016.
What was it?
You told me, what was his slogan? Do you remember what Donald Trump, what did he run on? When he first ran, what did he run on?
Get rid of these rapists and all this stuff.
Ban Muslims, build a wall. Remember that? That was all his big lines.
Build a wall is one. Yeah.
So we remember all those slogans.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Do you remember what Hillary Clinton's lines were? No.
I'm for her, and that's about it.
No.
First female president.
But her own slogan. She had a great, 77-page childcare proposal, I'm sure. I'm sure it's better than Trump's. But people don't campaign like that. And I think what Mamdani did is, even now, you ask me, what does Zoran Mamdani run on? Okay, freeze the rents, free buses, free childcare. It was message discipline around a set of policies that people identified with, that helped with this ridiculous affordability crisis, that made him seem like he was in touch. And I think if Democrats only take away, or people in the media only take away from Mamdani that, the guy's slick, he smiles well, Trump loves him, he does great social videos.
You don't
That's
think
a
Pratt
mistake.
Has that?
I don't think, what's Pratt's main policy platform that's going to get people out for him?
The fires, homelessness.
Everyone says they want to deal with that. That's
but that's because that's
the guy is a reality TV star. I'm not a fan of reality TV stars running for president. I wrote a piece saying Oprah should not run for president years ago. Although I have said Jon Stewart should run in a primary.
Do you think Spencer Pratt stands a chance?
Yes, because America's fucked up right now.
You think Spencer Pratt stands a chance?
Donald Trump is president of the United States twice. I'm never going to rule out anything in this country. I thought Trump wouldn't win in 2016. That's how dumb I was in 2016. That's why I don't do predictions anymore. No, 24. I said he'd win, and I said he's going to win, and he's going to be a fascist.
When did you say he'd win in 24?
All of 24. I spent all of 24 warning.
Got it.
I said, get rid of Biden. I said, Carlin needs to change her performance.
You think this is the new era? You think that this is the new era of types of people that run for president, which before you
is not good.
General, military, all this stuff?
Yeah,
now
I don't think it's a good thing. And I wrote this piece when they were thinking about Oprah. Do you remember a few years ago, people were pushing Oprah Winfrey's name? And I wrote a piece for The Intercept saying, come on, no, let's not go down this road. I do think you need politicians with charisma. And that's why people think of Hollywood stars. That's why someone like I love Jon Stewart. I would love Jon Stewart to run in a primary just to shake things up.
He'd be fun.
I don't think he'd be a great president, but I think him running would just add to the race. But my biggest problem is I take politics seriously. Let's go back to I've been studying. I've been a political journalist for 25 years.
This is your sport.
I did politics at university. I did politics at high school. I do debate. I take this shit seriously, and it annoys me when look at Donald Trump. What did he say yesterday? I'm bored. I'm bored of the Iran negotiations, like a freaking child, right? You cannot have people who are unserious
you can't
people.
help yourself, can you, with Trump?
I can't. Unserious people in charge of our countries.
Have you ever met him, by the way?
No.
You've never met?
I've never met Donald Trump. No. No, should I go to White House briefing?
No, I'm just trying to see if you've ever met him.
Should I go to White House briefing and try and get called on by Caroline Levitt?
Did you?
I got a few questions.
Did you meet Biden?
Did I meet Biden? I'm trying to think. I was in an event with Biden. I don't think I met him. But
Obama?
No, he was before my time. I arrived at the end of his presidency.
Did you interview?
I was in a room with Obama. I interviewed a lot of his people, Ben Rhodes, a lot of people around him.
Not him.
Not the president.
Okay,
the president gave me an interview. Then I was out. Yeah, no.
Got it. Surprised you've never met Trump.
No.
Would you want to meet him?
I'm a journalist. How would I not want to meet him? I'd love to interview.
What would you ask him? What 3 questions would you ask him? You sat with him. What do you ask him?
I mean, I'd only get 3 because he'd walk out after 3.
You think you would?
Oh, he's super thin-skinned.
You think you would?
Look, he gets upset with I regard American interviewers to be softball interviewers. I'm from the UK where we do tough interviews. My biggest criticism of the American media is weak-ass interviews. Nora O'Donnell barely asked him anything the other day. The guy had a meltdown. He's like, you're so rude. You're so rude. You're so disgusting. He just can't handle. He's got such a thin skin. He's the whiniest leader we've ever had.
Asked about, if I'm not mistaken, he asked about the guy's letter.
Yes.
That had to do with rape and pedophilia and something like that.
Yes.
She started with, and you could tell she was nervous when she asked the question.
This is CBS. This is now in the can for Trump. Let's not forget.
Sure.
This is the guy who says, be quiet, piggy, to reporters. He can't handle tough questions.
So what do you ask him? You got 3 questions. What do you ask him?
I would ask him, I wouldn't ask him opinion questions. It annoys me when people say, what do you think, Mr. He loves that shit. I would ask him fact questions about what is happening in the world. I would ask him, it depends on the day, right? If I'm interviewing him right now, I would say to him, you said, my opening question would be, you said a few weeks ago that people say Donald Trump's going to get bored of this war. I don't get bored, you said. And yesterday you said, I'm bored of this war. How do you explain that? That would be my first question later on.
What else?
I would say to him, are you out of your depth in this conflict? And I would give it the evidence as to why he's out of his depth and ask him to deal with each of those examples. For example, the Strait of Hormuz. For example, the Gulf countries. I also wouldn't be able to resist having some fun. I always think someone should ask Donald Trump. I would love for someone at a White House briefing to stand up and ask something that completely exposes this man's pig ignorance of the world. I would love someone to stand up and say, Mr. President, when will you be going to Wakanda? They are building a Trump Tower there and they love you in Africa. And he would say, I love them too. Because he doesn't know that Wakanda is a fictional country.
You think he would say that?
110%.
You think he would say that?
I would pay money to any White House correspondent watching. They'd get fired on the spot by the network.
It's obvious. Do you put him as an intelligent man? You put him
depends how you define intelligence.
Well, how do you,
like street smart, getting ahead, getting his way? Yeah.
Sure.
Like he wouldn't be able to get where he got to.
He's probably not a well-read guy in your eyes.
That's an understatement. I think he's one of the most ignorant people I've ever come across. You seen the latest stuff? He keeps being like, I call them Democrats. You have to take the B off of dumb. Most people don't know that dumb has B on it. No, most people do know that. You probably just discovered that there's a B on dumb. You know, there's a Trump tick. I watch him so much. Whenever he says most people didn't know this, it means he just discovered something himself 2 minutes ago.
You literally think he just discovered how to spell dumb?
I know it. And talk to the people who worked with him. We're second-term Trump, Patrick. I don't have to make this stuff up.
Yeah.
Dozens of people have now left the administration, have told their stories, and it's all the same thing. The guy is an egomaniac. The guy is vain. The guy is dumb. The guy changes his opinion based on the last person he spoke to.
This is a guy that won in business. This is a guy that
didn't win in business. 5 bankruptcies in a row. You're more successful than he is.
This is a guy that took a show from 0 to 1,
Steve
15
Jobs,
years.
for God's sake.
Dude, the guy won presidency 2 times.
I give you Apprentice.
2 times.
I give you Apprentice. Great reality TV star.
2 times.
Great. I'm not going to question his ability to run a reality TV star. I'm questioning his ability to run America.
How do you think about his kids? Do you give him compliment as a parent, as a father?
No. Have you read the stories about his
You don't think he's a good father? Why do you think his kids love him?
You think the kids love him?
You don't think they do?
I mean, if you read some of the tabloids, well, money and power can be
that's
great.
The only reason? I know a lot of billionaires that kids don't want to be around him.
If you read the New York tabloid press that Trump was very friendly with, the kids didn't like him when he was young. They were annoyed that he was cheating on their parents, his respective mothers. Things changed. There's stories about him allegedly is denied. There's stories about allegedly him, slapping Don Jr. at college in front of his friends and all sorts of stories. I don't know if they're true or not, but this is what's reported. Tiffany Trump, he never talks about.
From a Muslim and a Middle Eastern dude, what did our parents do to us when we were kids? Did you ever get slapped?
Of course.
Dude, are you like, you and I don't have the permission to say anything with that.
No,
so we got to change the subject.
Withdraw that.
Yeah, withdraw that.
He didn't go to his son's wedding so he could do troll posts about Ro Khanna.
I don't think he didn't go to the wedding because they had to go back for the war and everything that was going on.
Come on.
Question.
No, agree.
When it comes down to Muslims, 2020 vote to 2024.
I love you. You did whatever you did. You came back to Muslims. Why are you obsessed with Muslims? Because you left Iran?
I want to give you
I want to know why you're obsessed with Muslims.
I want to give you stats.
You know there was a terrorist attack on a mosque recently.
I want to give you.
Did that bother you?
I want to give you stats.
Did that bother you?
Can I, Mary, invite me to your show?
I'm inviting you up to this
here we go.
So you've all heard it. He said to invite him, Rob. You heard it. Everyone on YouTube heard it. I'm inviting you to
Okay, all right, so here we go. 2020, Biden had 69% of Muslim votes.
Yes.
Trump had 24%. 2025, Kamala dropped the Democrat vote from 69 to 50%. Trump went from 24 to 31%.
Yeah.
Third party got 12% and increased by 9%. Why did Muslims become Republicans?
Gaza. There are other issues too. The bathroom transgender issue in places like Michigan. A lot of conservative Arab Muslims didn't like that. They don't like that was happening even before Gaza. No doubt about that. But it was still a kind of fringe issue. What made it an issue in the Muslim community?
The LGBTQ.
Yeah, there were conservative Arab communities in Dearborn who were like, we don't want this.
You brought that up.
We don't want this. And they brought that up. That was before Gaza. There's no debate that some were shifting already to the Republican Party.
Sure.
But they were a tiny minority. The vast majority of Muslims still voted. Democrats still supported, still understood. The Republican Party is Islamophobic. White supremacist adjacent party right now.
You think number one reason is,
Fine in it.
You think number one reason why they vote the other side is because of Israel?
10 miles.
Okay.
Gaza. No, not Israel. The Gaza genocide. You have to understand, I spoke to a lot of these people. I traveled through all these communities in 2024.
Yep.
And I tried to point out, yes, Biden and Harris are complicit in a genocide. No one's defending the Democrats. I was very critical of the Democrats and what they did between 2023 and 2024. But Trump will be worse or as bad. He's not going to be better. And people bought the Trump shtick. No, he's anti-war. He didn't start any new wars. He's not interested in the Middle East. He's friends with MBS. He's friends with Erdogan. It's going to be great. I met Palestinians who told me Trump will be better on Gaza. He's transactional president. They bought that shit. Look at him now. Look how many Arab countries have been bombed. But Muslims were not voting for Trump as a whole. You mentioned third party too. Jill Stein picked up a lot of votes in some places. Not as many as people thought she would.
4%.
Of Muslim votes, yes.
Yeah.
So in certain places. So
majority was like 2%.
But my bigger picture is every time I said to someone, Trump is going to be worse than Harris, they said legitimately to me, but we have to punish the Democrats. That was the line. We have to punish the Democrats. They can't be seen to get away with a genocide. And when you say Kamala dropped it to 50, well, Joe Biden dropped it to 50. Harris kept it at 50 by not distancing herself from Biden. Her biggest single mistake was going on The View, and my friend Sunny Hostin said to her, what will you do differently to Joe Biden? And she said, nothing. And the minute she said that, I knew she's lost. And that was it. Until then, I had some hope. She could beat him. She was leading in the polls after the convention.
Is this the worst candidate you've ever seen on the left? In our lifetime. This is your sport.
I don't think she's as bad as people thought she was. I think she was definitely handed a poison
Who's been
chalice.
worse than her on the left?
But who's ever had a 100-day campaign? Like she got a shitty legacy. Let's just be fair to her, right? If we're going to be fair, we should be fair that she got a shit. Joe Biden should not have been in the race until July of 2024.
No,
that was insane.
I'm with you on that one.
She then got
you
coronated.
Saw Joe Biden came out and said,
what a load of bullshit from Joe Biden. She's like, I thought he had a stroke that night. No, you didn't.
And then the video says, oh, Joe, you did so good.
Yeah, we saw you that night.
Yeah.
If you thought you had a stroke, why didn't you go to the White House doctor? Bullshit, but rewriting of history. I did a video that night after the debate in my basement, in my home studio. I got attacked for it by some people saying Biden needs to stand down. It's ridiculous. And I still think Trump should stand down. He's also got mental issues. But Harris was a good candidate for a very short period. She had all this momentum, the honeymoon period. Americans love rehabilitation. You give somebody a chance. She comes in, she gets a boost. She runs this, I'm Joy. Remember that? Goes to the convention. I was at the convention. It felt like a freaking party. I remember a member of Congress was there.
As if it's already
Democratic member of Congress said to me, this is bad. We have not won. This is way too early. There's a member of Congress said this to me, a lefty. And I remember sitting there watching, Beyonce's going to be here. It wasn't Beyonce, it was fucking Leon Panetta. But anyways, bizarre. We come out of that convention and then she starts tacking to the right. She starts saying all this shit about, what was it? Oh, they were shutting down Lena Khan, the antitrust stuff. She had Mark Cuban, Liz Cheney campaigning for her. She campaigned more with Liz Cheney than with AOC and Bernie, right?
By the way, that was horrible move.
Insane.
Horrible move.
It didn't win over anyone.
Did you think that was a good idea?
No, I said at the time. At the time, I said these people are not going to switch over. Olivia Troy, who's a good friend of mine, former Trump official turned never Trumper, she was part of that. And she admits now, I've interviewed her. She says, yeah, we tried, but we thought there'd be like this mass of conservative women that would come over.
How much money did they raise? 2.1, what was the number? 1.5 billion or 2. That's a big number.
It was a lot.
Yeah. But so
But she also had her brother-in-law, by the way. There's a lot of reporting that suggests Kamala's brother-in-law, her sister's husband, I think it's Tony West is his name, big Uber lobbyist. He was pushing her to drop all the affordability, good stuff, drop the ads. There was poll testing
some
done.
controversy with him as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't
Tony
know.
West,
But the affordability agenda that she dropped, she should have gone economic populist,
Yeah.
right? She did not go economic populist. Instead, she campaigned with a billionaire and with a war criminal. And I think that was a huge problem. And then she went on The View and said, no change. This is a change election. You can't go into change elections. I'm not going to do anything different from the guy who's going out. It was just
So you think, okay, so go to 28.
But she could have won, by the way. He didn't win a landslide. Trump lied his ass off.
What do you mean she could have won? She lost every single state, 7
Have
states.
you looked at the numbers? In the 3 key swings,
She helped more counties become Republican in America.
have you looked at the numbers? If 115,000 people had voted differently, she would be president. That's what it came down to in our ludicrous system. She lost by 1.5 percentage points. One of the narrowest. He got one of the narrowest wins in modern American history. You know that, right? I know he lies, and people like you give him credit. He lies. He says, I won a landslide. He won one of the worst. You can pull it up, Rob. I wrote a piece for The Guardian with all the receipts.
Every county became more Republican
pull up my piece.
in America.
Pull up my piece.
Every
Guardian,
county
2024 Mehdi landslide. Type it out.
Can you please send this chart to this man here?
Pull it up.
He's the Muslim community is becoming more Republican, which is great.
Patrick, will you give me permission to read from your screen?
Go for it.
Can we scroll down?
Yes.
This is a great moment for me, taking over your show. Scroll down. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Stop. So, the former president's margin of victory over Harris is a minuscule 1.6 percentage point. Actually, it's 1.5. It went down after that. Smaller than that of every winning president since 1888, other than JFK and Richard Nixon. In fact, in the 55 presidential elections in which the popular vote winner became president, listen to this. Oh, your viewers are getting some good facts today. 49 of those 55 elections were won with a margin bigger than Donald Trump's in 2024. I hope the president is watching your show. I know he's a friend of his. He's coming on the show.
Can you do me a favor?
Donald Trump, you lost.
Can you show
You won with a
how many
49
counties?
Who gives a fuck about counties?
Won.
I'm showing you the margin of victory.
Dude, Mehdi.
He won by 1.5. You can raise your voice, but I've already done my
If there's anybody that has no room to say anything, look at this
My
here.
receipts are up.
Look at this here. You
Patrick,
run away.
I
Look
love
at this here.
You know, land doesn't vote.
He converted Muslims into Republicans.
Patrick, you know, land doesn't vote. I love these maps. That people, that's land.
You showed us that.
Land doesn't vote.
Dude,
I gave you the numbers.
Voted for him.
Still more for the Democrats.
No. Muslims went from 24% for Trump in 2020 to 31%.
Patrick, I'm not on the right.
He's winning your people over.
Patrick, and it kills me. Patrick, I'm not on the right. I'm not an election denier. Donald Trump won, but he didn't win 50% of the vote. You know, people say he won the popular vote. You know, he didn't win a majority of the votes. He's run in 3 elections.
I know that, but
you know he's run 3 elections.
You know who's
never
the
won a
last
majority
Republican that has?
George W. Bush.
Yeah, it's the last one that did it. Yeah. That's not like oh my God, he didn't win the majority. You know.
But he hasn't. But he brags and says he does.
Yeah, but
he's never won a majority of the vote. Today he's polling in the 30s. He's lost. By the way, he's lost all that support from Latinos, young people, and Muslims. You accept that, right? That coalition he put together is gone now.
Yeah. So this the part where guys like you come out and they'll say what they'll say.
They'll say fact.
Did you see Did you see his endorsement? How they did? Did you see his endorsement? How they did? Everybody he picked. Did you see how many of them won?
Oh, in the primaries.
Yeah. Did you see?
Great news for Democrats.
Great news. Tell me why.
James Tallarico wants to run against Paxton or Cornyn?
I'm actually curious. Tell me why.
No, he picks horrible candidates. Remember, what was the Georgia candidate? They should have won Georgia and they lost. Who did they put up? Herschel Walker. Remember that? Remember Herschel Walker?
I remember.
Remember the dude
Good
in
running
Alabama?
back. He had a hard time speaking.
Remember the dude in Alabama who was accused of child molestation that he denied? I can't remember his name. Alabama guy from his first term. He backed him. He lost.
About now.
He picks.
Talk about
picks
now.
Bad.
117. 117.
Yeah, but why would you back Paxton? Let's just talk about the main.
Tell me why you. So you like establishment candidates? Like
not about
Cornyn, 40 plus years.
I hate John Cornyn. I hate Ken Paxton. But who do you want to run against? I want the Democrats to win the Senate, obviously, to save democracy.
So you think Tallarico does better with Paxton than he does with Cornyn?
You don't?
I'm asking you.
I'm asking you.
No, I ask you.
I 100% think he's going
to do better.
Well, the polls show he's doing better.
Yeah.
I mean, just trust the polls. He's leading the polls.
So you think his power? By the way, do you guys in your family celebrate Pride Month?
Do we celebrate Pride Month?
Yeah, what does that mean? I'm just asking. Like, do you have a way of celebrating Pride Month? Because Tallarico.
Not personally, but I support people who do. Do you see Mamdani yesterday?
No.
Interesting couple of posts. He was like Muslim Sharia. He's an extremist.
What do you say?
People on your side. 9 a.m. he posts Happy Pride Month. Mayor of New York.
Yeah.
Midday, Happy Eid, hosted Eid at Gracie Mansion. That's modern America. People that want to make this guy into some kind of extremist. You guys on your show, I see you getting worked up about prayers in New York. This guy is around Mamdani.
You think okay, so by the way, I think Tallarico's formidable. It's not like I don't think he's formidable. I think he's a very good communicator. I think he's to be honest with you, I think he's a better version of Pete Buttigieg. I think he's a better version of Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
I think he's got a bigger upside than Pete Buttigieg.
Okay.
So I think
he's very talented.
I think he's very talented.
I want to interview him again. He's a very, very good talker. His policies are good. Texas is difficult. My wife is from Texas. I spend a lot of time in Texas. I'm under no illusions. It's a difficult state to win, but it's not as red as Republicans want you to believe.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
And I think that they could have probably won with Cornyn, But I think now it's in play, and you have to ask, what is Donald Trump's political strategy? You know, Patrick, that every Republican senator is pulling their hair out wondering, what the hell did Donald Trump do here? He's now put the Senate in play in a way it wasn't in play before. Because even if Paxton wins Texas, they have to divert a bunch of resources from other states, which need them more to protect him. That's the problem, strategically.
For Paxton or Tellerico?
For the Republicans trying to save their Senate majority, they're going to have to divert resources to
do you know how much
defend
money they're
Texas.
going to spend on this?
Yeah, but it could have been spent elsewhere.
We're going to see the money going there in ways we've never seen
But it could have
before.
been spent elsewhere.
Could be. I mean, that's the
They
part
got a
about...
tough race in Michigan. They got a tough race all over.
By the way, just out of curiosity.
Look, they're losing in North Carolina.
I'm curious what you're going to say with this. So out of curiosity, you have two people to choose as a candidate. One is a hardcore Republican, capitalist, pro-Trump guy who's a Muslim. Second one is a hardcore socialist, progressive, liberal who is a Christian. Which do you vote for?
Obviously, I vote for the person whose values and policies I support. I don't vote based on religion.
So you would vote for the second person
Of course.
because the values and principles.
Of course. I don't vote based on religion. Mehmet Oz ran against John Fetterman. He would have been the first Muslim senator. If Abdul El-Sayed pulls it off in Michigan, he will be the first ever Muslim member of the United States Senate in American history.
Yeah, we've
this
never
year.
had one.
Never had one.
Yeah.
Mehmet Oz
We have
could have
5 congressmen.
Mehmet Oz could have been the first Muslim
But he would have
senator.
been a Republican.
Exactly, and his policies were horrible.
So for
His
you,
fealty to
that's a
Trump-
no-go.
Yeah, because I don't care. It would be nice
So
to say, hey,
policies
a Muslim
over
of
faith.
course. But then, by the way, who did I back against him? Literally the worst Democratic senator, he turned out to be John Fetterman. But let's put that to one side. But Mehmet Oz, yeah, I don't vote on religion. I think it's crazy if people vote on religion. You shouldn't vote on religion.
Okay, so
Muslims shouldn't vote for Muslims. Jews shouldn't vote for Jews. Christians vote. You should vote based on your policy platform, the principles and values.
Do you think we'll have
Muslims are not a monolith. I don't agree with all Muslims. You just mentioned some of them who vote for
Yeah.
Trump.
Do you think long term, America will be at a point where we'll have a Muslim governor or a Muslim president?
Muslim governor, I hope. Maybe Mamdani. He can't be president, right? So where does he go next? After
He
mayor?
could be governor.
He could be governor. He could be senator, right? He can't go anywhere else. Secretary of
No,
State, whatever
no,
it is.
yeah.
He can't be president, sadly.
Not even
tragically.
VP, right? VP, you can't
No,
even be
because
VP.
you have to be-
So
be-
Speaker of the House,
to
you
be
could be, though. I think that if he chooses to go that route.
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Because
Can you pull that up,
Speaker
Rob?
of the House is third in line to the
I
presidency.
think you could be Speaker.
But then what if the president, vice
I know,
president, God
I know,
forbid,
on the
dies?
same plane, but that's why they're not on the same flight when they go. You'll notice some of the stuff that they do.
Well, I don't know the answer to the question. If you're,
listen.
if you're ineligible for the presidency, can you be in the line
Yes,
of
the
succession?
Constitution does not require the Speaker of the House to be born in the U.S.
But it
so-
means they would have to skip past the speaker if something happened.
Yeah, it would go to
Okay.
somebody else.
So he could run for Congress, be speaker, he could be whatever. So, but to come back to your question, yes, Muslim governor, I think hopefully very soon.
Yeah.
Inshallah, as Joe
Inshallah.
Biden might say. And president, I don't think for a while. Look, let's first get a woman president. This country is so behind the rest of the world. We haven't had a woman leader. Pakistan's had a woman leader. Bangladesh has had a woman leader. Most European countries have had a woman leader. America still needs to do that basic thing. And
What do you, your thoughts on, a lot of people in America, you got things that's happening in Texas with that one city, what is it called? Epic City or something like that in Plano, Texas.
Yeah.
What do you say to some conservatives that are worried about Sharia law making it into America?
I would say, please do not worry. You're being lied to. You're being gaslit. You're being distracted. This is a fake moral panic that's been blown
Because
up.
it'll never happen or because Sharia law is not that bad?
Because it's not two different things. Number one, Sharia law is not what you think it is, but that we can park that for discussion for a moment. I'll come to that. It's not happening. There's nobody I know who's pushing Sharia law in this country. It's completely fake, and it's being pushed in ridiculous places, not just Texas, Oklahoma, Indiana. Did you see the lieutenant governor of Indiana said recently, we need to hate Islam. It's a demonic religion, right? And I'm going to fight radical Islam and Sharia. Do you know what the population, Muslim population of Indiana is? Less than 1%. Like, this is ridiculous fear-mongering.
It has 3x the U.S., I think, in the last 26 years, if I'm not mistaken. Muslim population.
But it's still less,
not Indiana.
But it's even nationwide. What is it? 1 to 2%.
I want to say 4.5 million.
It's one, which is
yeah,
what?
you're right. It's 1 or 2%. But by the way, you're 3x in 26 years. It's not like you're not doing a good job. You're growing.
We're growing. Elon Musk wants people to have more kids. But my point being is, it's not going to happen. But also, a few things. Number one, please let's not talk in this demonizing way about Muslim communities being a threat to, because it has real world consequences. We just saw in San Diego, a mosque was attacked by 2 Nazi teenagers who shot and killed 3 people, including the security guard, who had 8 kids. Police say he was a hero, saved 100 kids in that mosque, in the school, right? Murdered by 2 guys. Do you read their manifesto? I don't like reading these shooters' manifestos.
I read the whole thing.
Some of the lines in there are crazy. They say, what they say?
Towards everybody.
Towards everybody. Jews, women, Muslims, gay. But the line about Muslims is really scary, because they say, we don't hate Muslims. We hate Islam. We hate the invasion of our country. That is rhetoric that you hear in right-wing media. That is rhetoric that you hear in the House of Representatives. That is what you hear from Randy Fine. That is what you hear from Republicans. That is what you hear in America. So that is not just some Nazi shooter. That is mainstream rhetoric that has been mainstreamed on the right, and has real-world consequences. If you say, look, I've seen some of your shows. You've talked about Muslims praying in Times Square, that being some kind of threat. I would say just have a sense of what the real world consequences of our rhetoric can be. Words have consequences. Crazy people out there can pick up weapons and think Muslims are coming to take over my country.
You know, I would tell you, I've interviewed a lot of weird people on my podcast. A lot. You tell them, I'll have them on. I don't have a problem talking to them. I had a great conversation with Westmore.
Yeah.
What was it, 5 weeks ago? I've had mobsters on, Sammy the Bull. I've had Kobe on. I've had, many different people on. You know what's the only one that brought so many death threats? Bibi was the only one. I've had a lot of people on.
Okay.
Multiple presidents. We did a podcast with Bibi. I've never told this story publicly, so they'll know. It was on my birthday, and I come out of the podcast. My security says, there's a guy in the front lobby that just got caught with cops with grenades. I said, this is a terrible joke here, because everybody always tried to prank me for my birthday, and I always catch people. Like, they're trying to surprise me. I'm like, listen, this is not the right way to do it. He says, I'm not laughing. This is an 18 Delta guy. And I said, really? He says, yeah, look at the front gate. So I go to the front gate. I'm looking. I'm like, wait a minute. What is that? Cops everywhere. Guy shows up. I'll show you the pictures afterwards. With grenades, with weapons, with guns that came in here. And the number of death threats that we started getting afterwards, insane, just for having Bibi.
Dare I ask, what was the guy's background? Do we know?
I couldn't tell you. I know he went away. I know they took his weapons away. I'll show you a couple texts and emails.
Was he quote unquote far right? Was he quote unquote Islamist? Do we know what his ethnicity was?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know that. I have no idea what that was. But the point is, the threat started increasing only after Bibi. So here's the part. When you say that, I think that applies to both sides.
I agree.
If you think about like who in the
100%.
history of America has had more assassination attempts as a president, where do you think that's coming from? He's a fascist. Hitler. This, that.
But he deals it out. He's the one who started the threats and the violence.
I'm not going to sit here and apologize for him.
He calls his opponents Nazis.
He's called a lot of people a lot of things.
He called Biden a Nazi.
The guys, after how many times they called him, he couldn't get anything right. When he was coming up, the media was
Come on, in 2016, he suggested the Second Amendment people should take care of Hillary Clinton. Come on, I have a longer memory. But let me come back to what I was saying. I agree with you. We need it across the board. I don't think we should have political violence. I don't support political violence on any end. I don't justify going after capitalists or anyone else. I'm against violence. So I'm saying to you, for example, you did a show recently, or not recently, I looked it up because I knew we were going to talk about Islam here. You have a show on YouTube called Islam's Hidden Threat to the West. You have another headline, Will Muslims Run America in 30 Years? Now, I know you like to host good faith discussions and debates, but you have to understand, if people get this in their feeds and their social media all the time, are you telling me that people are not going to start, if they hear Micah Beckwith of Indiana say Islam is a demonic religion, and then they hear guests on your show saying Islam's a threat to the West, and they hear Randy Fine saying Sharia law is taking over America, you don't think two Nazi teenagers with guns are going to go, well, I'm going to go deal with this mosque down my street? You're telling me there's no link between that?
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I'm not going to say there's no link between that. Of course,
we have to be careful. Let's not. We know that demonizing minority communities. Look what happened to synagogues. And I would say the same thing about the Jewish community. We have to be careful about our criticism of Israel, so it doesn't lead to attacks on Jews.
The question becomes, for me, it's all on data. Meaning, if you live in my community, you make it safer, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
If you come and you create jobs, I'm all for it. If you come and you assimilate, you love America, I'm all for it. If you come in, you don't contribute, you take advantage of the programs that we have, you don't want to create jobs, where is the incentive? Why are we bringing
That's a different argument. We can have that argument. It is. I'm talking about incitement. When you say Muslims, are they going to run America in 30 years? Of course not. We're 1% of the population.
I don't think so. No,
when you say Islam is a threat to the West, come on, 1% of the population.
By 2050, you guys are going to be the biggest population in the world. You guys make 2.9
But not in America. Not in America. Okay, we're not even going to be. Pull up the numbers, Rob. What are we going to be in 2050?
The difference between you and I is, I think long term.
And even if, by the way, if we do grow as a community, even that. This is, I'm sorry to go back to World War II and the Nazis, but look at the rhetoric that Nazis used about Jews in 1920s, 30s. These people are aliens, they are parasites, they're leeching off our state. The rhetoric is, it's very similar. When I listen to Andy Ogles, and I listen to Chip Roy, and I listen to Randy,
yes. You think Ilhan Omar loves America?
You know how I know she loves America?
You think Ilhan Omar loves America?
You don't?
Absolutely not.
She absolutely loves America. You know how I know she loves America?
Tell me.
Because she came to America, she decided to run for office. When she ran for office, she ran as a lefty who devotes her life to trying to improve people's lives. She wants healthcare for everyone. She wants healthcare for every Trump voter watching this show.
Speech of saying she is eventually going to return to her country and contribute to her country. She's only doing this to advance her country.
This is bullshit. Ilhan Omar.
It's her words. Pull up the video.
Listen to me.
Pull up her video. It's her words. I just showed you Sam Piker, and you're like, I've never seen that video.
Let me say this to you.
Go ahead.
Donald Trump has made more anti-American remarks than Ilhan Omar. If we're going to go down who loves America, she loves it more than Trump does. She did insider insurrection.
Ilhan Omar loves America.
100 times more.
100
times more.
I'm so glad
not even
the audience
1,000
can
times
see
more.
that Ilhan Omar loves America more than Trump.
Well, one person incited attack on our democracy. One didn't. One tried to undermine American democracy. One didn't.
Well,
one pardoned 1,600 people who attacked America. One didn't.
What happened with her finances? Where did the $30 million network come from out of nowhere?
So now,
it was an accounting error.
Hold on.
Sorry,
Hold on.
Stay on the line. Don't go Trump, but
I am going to do that.
Go do the
because
Trump.
Your argument now is first of all, I don't want to get into rights and wrongs of politicians' finances. You're telling me Republican congressmen are not corrupt?
You're doing a but. Okay, got it.
No, I'm just wondering.
Forgiving Ilhan.
I'm just wondering because
Patrick, you have this winding.
No, because
Ilhan Omar amended a congressional financial.
What's that got to do with loving America? You're telling me people's finances don't have. Donald Trump is the most corrupt politician in modern American history. You just said he loves America. Donald Trump is the most corrupt politician in America.
That's your opinion, guy.
He just made $3 billion. No, it's not.
In your eyes.
Okay, Rob, pull up the numbers. How much? Pull up the numbers, Rob. Forbes magazine. How much money did Donald Trump's net worth go up by last year?
Let me ask you.
$3 billion.
Just out of curiosity.
$3 billion. How did he make that?
Are you going to go?
How did he make $3 billion while president?
Are you going to go? Are you going to go and show the same? Wait a minute. If you're going to allow me to rebuttal,
you always rebut with a question.
Are you
noticed that over?
You've been doing it. All you do is yeah, but.
I said Ilhan loves America.
You're a professional yeah, but.
I said Ilhan loves America.
Just out of curiosity.
You're the jump around guy. We're talking about who loves America. Now we're talking about politicians.
Are you also going to go?
Look at that line, Patrick. Look at that line. Rob is good.
Can I show you something?
You said capitalists expand, Rob. If you're ever looking for a job, my friend.
Yeah, everybody's been trying. So if you go back here, then what's your argument if you say, look, no, stay on that, Rob, stay on that.
No.
Then what do you say? His first presidency, he lost so much money. Did you ever say that? You never said that. Because that doesn't add to your argument.
But I've always said the second term is the term where he's got no guardrails. He gets to do whatever he wants.
No, but his first term, he lost money.
Okay, but the second term?
What about a second term? Market's gone up. He's made money. Market's gone up. Have you made more money in the last 18 months with your investments?
Do you know what happened on January 19th? The day before he became president, inaugurated?
Tell me.
The Emiratis put $500 million into his crypto fund. You think that was the market going up? They gave a $500 million bribe to Donald Trump. $187 million went straight into Trump bank accounts. Ilhan Omar can work for the rest of her life, do whatever. She'll never make $187 million. Trump made that in one day from the Emiratis. If Biden or Hunter Biden had done it, you'd be up in arms. Now, back to the topic of who loves America.
You said Ilhan Omar loves more than I'm so glad
I'll tell your
you're going to be
here.
judged quoted for that.
Please quote me. Let me finish the quote.
And then let's go back to
Let's
Islam
finish the
as well.
quote. I will. Ilhan Omar has spent her political career trying to get free lunches for every American child, including the children of MAGA voters. Donald Trump has spent his presidency taking away Medicare, taking away health care from people, taking Medicaid away from people. So yes, Ilhan Omar loves Americans more than Donald Trump loves Americans. And by the way, when she was threatened by a Trump supporter who tried to kill her, he went to prison, tried to kill Ilhan Omar in 2019. She went to the sentencing and she asked for his sentence to be reduced to give him grace. I can't imagine Donald Trump doing that.
Do you know
I do think Ilhan Omar is someone who has actually a very good role model.
Do you know how many?
I wouldn't have done that.
Do you know how many endless stories there are of what Trump's done behind closed doors for people? Do you know how many?
Yes. Do you know how many of them are? Do you know how many of them are him screwing people over? Do you know what he did to his niece? Do you know what he did to a baby in his family?
This is all you're gonna. This is your hit piece, just going on him right now.
I mean, you're doing positive. I'm doing negative. Isn't that the point?
You're building up, man. You're building up Ilhan. Like if there's anybody,
there's no comparison. Anyone who knows Ilhan Omar says she's a good person. All of her friends, Donald Trump. Everyone who knows Donald Trump says he's a horrible person.
What is the investigation into her right now?
Why did no one in Donald Trump's cabinet endorse Donald Trump for president second time?
What is the investigation?
Why do you think that is? Why did his vice president not endorse him for president?
You know how he is, though. He's a guy that he's a team of rivals.
They hate him.
Why did he come back? Why did he come back? Why did he come back?
National security advisor.
Why did he come back? Why did they come back?
Because the Democrats fucked everything up. Joe Biden and Merrick Garland fucked everything up. He should have been in prison.
Whose fault is that?
The Democrats.
Beautiful.
I'm agreeing with you.
How come
Merrick Garland? I blame two people for Donald Trump.
Unified Republicans?
I blame two people for Donald Trump. Merrick Garland and Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell should have voted to convict in 2021 to prevent him from ever running again. And Merrick Garland should have got off his ass and investigated him from day one and not outsourced it to Jack Smith with 1 year to go. And I just do want to come back to the Islam question.
Let's do it.
Muslims love America who live here. According to the polls, according to the Pew polls, 92% of Muslims in America say they love being American. So this is a myth that Muslims don't love America.
No.
And by the way,
I have Muslims who work for me. Right afterwards, come with me. I'll take them to them if you want to meet them.
So my point is, and their families are worried for their safety right now. Every Muslim in America I know.
They are. I think they feel the safest in America.
Let's talk to you guys afterwards.
I think they feel the safest in America.
Every Muslim I know, Patrick, trust me on this. I spend a lot of time with Muslims. Every Muslim I know is worried about what they're going to do. They have a plan B. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go live? If it becomes intolerable.
Go ahead and leave America. How come they don't?
Because they love America.
That's the point. What if they feel the safest?
No, but what if it's changing, right?
But if.
You don't think
12 years
Hold on, the Jews feel the same way, Patrick. You know that, right? Jewish communities right now saying we don't feel safe in America. You know this. They're saying it every day.
Sure.
They're saying where synagogues are being attacked, we're being demonized. So Muslims feel the same way, especially when a mosque is attacked by two Nazis. Republicans can't even bring themselves to condemn it. Do you know that Ted Cruz wouldn't even condemn it?
We talked about it the day on
You did. I talked about Republican Congress.
I can't speak on their behalf, buddy. I'm not them.
No, good. But
I'm speaking on my behalf. Whatever they do is their position.
But on your show too, Patrick, come on, you did a whole thing, I watched it, of you obsessing over this Times Square prayer. Like this is some act of domination. Why are Muslims not allowed to pray in Times Square? Why are Jews allowed to do Hanukkah?
Expansion.
Why is Jews allowed to do Hanukkah? Hindus do Diwali.
You know what my argument is
Catholics
against that? You know what my argument is against that? Guess what my argument is against that? You ready?
Go on.
It's going to go back to something you don't like.
Please.
You ready?
Go on.
Here we go. If Muslims do a better job expanding, they deserve everything they get.
But it's not expanding. It's
No,
just a
but it
period
is
of
though.
time
No, it is
It's
though.
changing the subject.
It is though. If Muslims, I'm a capitalist to the
Yeah.
core. Meaning,
Yeah.
if you beat me,
Yeah.
guess what I do? You got to tip your hat. I don't know if you follow
What if people
basketball or
aren't
not.
trying to be? What if they just want to pray in
no,
Ramadan?
but they're visual. You want to go watch how many of the videos like long term we're going to come America. Sure,
Have
we're going to.
you seen the Christian prayers at the National Mall? They're not the same.
No, you can't.
Have you seen? Are you kidding me?
Can I ask you a
Did you
question?
watch?
Can I ask you a question?
God,
Your
Patrick,
position-
you need to get
what
out
was your-
more.
what
You're
was
on
your
the
position?
right wing
What was your
algorithm
position?
too
What was
much.
your
You watch
position?
Ilhan Omar videos and Times
Do you
Square
know at
videos
one
all
point?
day long.
Do you know at one point I was sitting down with Muslims trying to find out what things we have in common?
Yeah.
Okay, and literally I was bringing Muslims to sit down and talk about them. You know why? Because to me the LGBTQ, specifically on the T side, was getting a little too far, and I think deep